What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Max Attack Motorsports. As I just moved one of my safety jacks out of the way, we got our custom made ones right here. Not big on the situation where it is, but I don't have a hoist or any of that crap. Building on the driveway, baby, so whatever. But anyways, so last time I left you guys, we finished doing the front, so you guys can see it's actually lowered it quite a bit compared to stock. Obviously you guys won't be able to tell the full difference with it up on ramps and jacks and whatnot, but yeah, the front's all done. If you guys remember all that, 10mm spacers on the front for the stock rims. You're gonna have to do that for sure if you're gonna put coilovers on. That way your wheels clear the collars. But anyways, yeah, we're gonna get started on the back. Get the back done here. So pretty basic, guys. This should be a little bit easier than the front, obviously, and you can kind of see already. So these rotors and these calipers are actually not that bad, but I'm going to pair them up with the fronts with the M Sport calipers and the Hawks Performance pads, as well as the coilovers. So if we go underneath, you guys can see everything underneath here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take the wheel off. So pretty basic again with the long beaches. You're gonna have your 7mm Allen right there and just kind of plug it out, and then 17mm for everything else. But yeah, we'll get the wheels off and then I'm gonna go underneath. Hopefully this thing is pretty supported. Yeah, just make sure everything's supported, guys. But yeah, I'm gonna go underneath. I already put some PB Blaster and some lubricant on the bolts that need to come out. And again, guys, it's fairly simple. If you guys have any questions regarding all the front end stuff, you guys can watch those videos. But yeah, we're gonna be taking off everything today: the struts, the springs, the calipers, the brake lines. I'm not gonna be changing the brake lines at the back to any braided lines. I'm just gonna keep the stock ones, so hopefully those should be okay. And then yeah, hopefully we can have this car on the road, or at least sitting all leveled out and ready to go within the next couple days. The weather up here is supposed to get pretty nasty as far as thunderstorms and stuff. I am sweating my ass off right now doing this video, but that's okay. So yeah, let's get the wheels off here, guys, and get going. So I've had a lot of people ask me about how to get these little caps off. Pretty basic, guys. 7mm Allen key, and you literally just put it in there and pull. So yeah, if you guys don't know that, I don't know what to tell you, but pretty basic stuff. You guys should be able to figure that one out. You don't need a special tool or anything, just a 7mm Allen key. So pretty basic. And then yeah, 17mm, and then we got our little special locking one right here as well. And in case, guys, you guys can't find your special tool, this is in where your spare tire is, in your hatch or in your trunk, underneath, and it should be in like that little foam thing that has your jack, your breaker bar, all that stuff. But yeah, and this should be a 17mm what it's called here, size of nut. If not, we can see right now. But yeah, pretty basic, just goes in there. There you go, you guys can see it. Gonna break it loose with our 17mm on our bar. And again, guys, so you guys can break these loose probably when they're on the ground. That's probably the easiest way to do it, as well as you know, I have it in the air right now with the parking brake on. My parking brake is great on this car, but I would definitely suggest breaking them on the ground before you go through all the trouble of putting them on jacks, for sure. Alrighty, so you guys can see now the long beaches are off here, and you can kind of see everything that we have to do on this side as far as doing our rotors, our struts and whatnot. Again, guys, a lot easier, or a lot less complicated than doing the front end. But you can already see that nice Phillips star right there. So on the front, when we put those rotors on and they were completely sheared off, this is already here, so I don't have to worry about my rotor sliding around or any of that jazz when I'm trying to remount everything. So what I'll probably do is when I bring it to Das Parts, I'll probably get them to see if they can tap it out of the old spindle there and then put a fresh one in, just to kind of help out. But yeah, look how sweet that is. And again, these rotors aren't actually that bad. They're actually in like decent shape. I mean, I know they were done right before I bought the car, so you know, I mean, not that bad. The brake pads on it aren't that bad either. They're definitely doable. I mean, obviously they got some surface rust and all that going on, but compared to what the front ones were, oh my lord, those were horrible. But yeah, so I'm gonna start taking off this little Phillips here. Hopefully I don't shear it. Should be okay. If not, I think there's like some sort of driver, like a pretty much like you put what's it called in there, a Phillips driver, and then you can hit it with a hammer, and it kind of, as you hit it, it kind of maneuvers this around. But I don't have that, so we'll see. But you can already see in here what we got going on as far as the struts go. So right up here we have our two 16 mils, so that's the upper strut mount with your bump stop and your dust cover. We're going to be reusing this stuff, so make sure you guys don't throw this in the trash, as well as take a hacksaw and all that crap to it. So just make sure you guys take care of that, and then again, go ahead a couple days earlier before you're going to do this and make sure you guys loosen up everything as far as all your nuts and bolts. But yeah, so the two 16 mils here, and then sorry, I just put my glasses back on. Right here, so you can see that again, we have our lower strut. That's our lower strut bolt right there. You're gonna have to take that off as well. Now we're gonna be putting on a rear sway bar for application, so I have an Ibach sway bar that has to go on, which I'm hoping has end links involved. If not, I'm gonna have to figure out how that all works. But yeah, pretty much you're gonna be taking off your 16 mils up top. The size of bolt down there, I'm not sure. I have to reconfirm with you guys, and then that will at least take care of the struts, which will allow us to pull our rear subframe down a little bit, enough to get the spring out. But again, guys, you're going to be reusing a fair bit of stuff on the rear, so just be careful. As far as the brakes go, so again, we have our carrier bolts right there. I will reconvene with you with the sizing. But yeah, we're going to be taking those off. And then as far as the caliper bolts itself here as well, we have these little guys, so just be careful with that. And then you're going to have to go underneath, and you're going to have to take your handbrake cable off if you're going to be changing calipers around. So, and then we got, you can see right there, our brake line as well, and these are in pretty good shape, so I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, so what I'm gonna do now, I'll probably just head over to the other side, take off the other wheel, and then we'll come back over here and yeah, start getting everything going. Again, guys, make sure you guys release your handbrake. Make sure your car is secure. Obviously, the handbrake's not going to do anything with this in the air as it is, but it will allow you to take off the pads and your caliper a lot easier. So I'll make sure we take care of that. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off all the braking stuff first. Again, kind of going back to the front. I tried a certain way on the passenger side, and then on the driver's side I found stuff that worked a lot better over there. So hopefully this is roughly the right way to do it. But anyways, again, we're just kind of vlogging on what we're doing. So yeah, instead of taking out the struts right now, I'm just gonna take off all the brake caliper stuff and the rotor, mostly just because the strut's still attached to this kind of rear subframe thing over here. And yeah, I you know, I mean, with that being there, it's just gonna make kind of reefing on all this stuff a lot easier than if it was loose and there was nothing kind of to help me with my leverage. But yeah, anyways, as far as the brake line goes, so we have it right here again. I think that's a 15 mil. I'm just gonna grab one here and check. No, that's not. Might be a 9/16 then. Oh nope, 13 mil. So 13 mil fits on there perfectly. So again, take the brake line out. Make sure you have yourselves a little bucket, and then yeah, so I guess I'll get going on that, as well as the carriers. Now the carriers on the back, excuse me, are a lot different than the carriers on the front. The carriers on the front have a bolt, or have bolts that are at 18 millimeter, and as far as the back goes, I have some brand new ones that came in, which I will be replacing, but I believe that they are an 8 mil Allen. So we'll see, I have one kicking around here. 8 mil, yes, 8 mil Allen should fit in there. There is a lot of rust, so I'll probably have to clean it out. But yeah, it's either an 8 mil or something very, very similar to it. I put a 7 mil in there. It just wasn't wasn't fitting in there properly. It was a little loose. So if you have to use an Allen key right here, then grab yourself either a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch extension, and you can use that kind of like a pipe method you would for a wrench. That way you have a lot of leverage on getting these carrier bolts loosened up, which is gonna be sweet. Hopefully, I don't know if the new caliper comes with brand new carriers, because the front ones did, which I didn't know, but we'll be sending these out for powder coating, getting the same color as the front. Should look pretty cool from Rice Rocket. But yeah, let's work on getting the brake line off right now. So there we go, brake line already loose. Whoops, there we go. So again, guys, make sure you have your bucket there, because this thing is going to start leaking out. And again, we are going to be reusing this brake line. So let me just see where it's attached to. Oh, okay, it's just attached to the rear beam here. So I'll probably just kind of kick it out of the way, make sure it's out of harm's way. Again, guys, if you're going to be reusing the caliper or you're going to be reusing the brake lines, just make sure you guys like zip tie them up. You don't want to stretch on anything that you don't need. And then be careful here with your wiring for your ABS right there as well. Alright, so we're just taking out the handbrake now. Again, I'm doing all this while everything's nice and tight. I have the leverage so you guys can see this little leg bracket. This little guy right here, the little clip. This bad boy's got to come out, so I'm just going to pry it out with the screwdriver. And then, yeah, hopefully that kind of loosens everything up. And then we'll have to, this little ball up here is going to have to go through the slot, so you guys can get a look at everything. So I'm gonna have to push that up through there, which will allow me to yeah, release the handbrake. That way the handbrake is off, I don't have to worry about it. Just makes it a little bit easier while the caliper is still tight. And then instead of focusing on these carrier bolts with the caliper on, I'm just gonna take my 13 mil right here and take one out. There's one here and there's one on top. That would take the rear caliper off the carrier, and then I can focus on getting those carrier bolts at a better angle. But yeah, so anyways, kind of a pain in the ass with this thing leaking brake fluid left, right, and center, but that's okay, no worries about it. So yeah, we're gonna grab this thing right here, and again, just a flathead, just gonna pry it off. Now you can kind of see how I have it right here. I'm just gonna put the camera down and put my hand there, that way this thing doesn't go down the street. So there you guys go, you guys can see it now. Yeah, I just don't want to do it with you know, I mean, it's kind of hard to film with everything, but yeah, so that guy's off now, and you can see, oh, I got so much brake fluid on my hands. The cable is getting nice and loose now, so I'm just going to kind of maneuver it around, and then take a screwdriver or whatever and just kind of pop it out. So all I did was just take a screwdriver right here and just kind of, again with the clip, it's off, it kind of gives you a little bit more play here. This is driving me nuts right now because I'm getting soaked in this stuff. Should have left the brake line on. That's okay. Anyways, yeah, take a screwdriver and you can kind of pry it. You see how this has like a U shape? You just gonna pry it so the ball kind of goes up a bit and then up and over. That way it fits. You can kind of see where it would fit in, and then you can maneuver this if you need to. And then with the clip gone, there you go. That's all nice and loose now. That will allow me to at least get the brake line off, or the handbrake line off a lot easier now, without having to worry about, you know what I mean, trying to reef on this thing as there's no leverage. So just gonna kind of pull this through, make sure you guys fit the boot through here, and then yeah, we'll be good to go to take off the caliper itself. So just keep in mind, guys, too, when you're doing this, again, I just pushed this through this little hole like it's gonna fit. As long as that bracket's not there, it'll just go right out. Whoops, hit the camera. But yeah, again, guys, too, same thing with your brake lines and all that stuff. Don't be stressing this out too much. This is not too bad. It can hang, it'll be okay, but don't be reefing on it too hard. You don't want to stretch anything out with your handbrake. And again, this is with the handbrake down and off. The handbrake's not on right now, just to kind of help you guys out. But yeah, I'm happy that's out, so I'm just gonna grab the 13 mil and then we'll take off our we'll take off our caliper here. So for the caliper, guys, you're gonna want 15 millimeter on the inside. There's like a little nut that's in there, and then on the outside, 13 millimeter wrench. You can use a socket too. I just find it's a lot easier with the wrench. And then pretty basic, hopefully this camera stays, I gotta start wearing my headgear for this stuff, but you guys can see that. Try to do it with both hands, but as you guys go in the right direction, it'll slowly start to loosen off. So you can kind of see already starting to go. There's a little bolt that goes inside, as well as within the rubber boot here. There's our little nut. So I'm just going to do the bottom one as well, and then after that I should be able to take the caliper off from the carrier. As you guys can see now, got the caliper all nice and loose. Again guys, do not lose any of this stuff unless you open up your package and you know that the new stuff comes with it. Just be careful with it. I've kept every bolt so far. I've taken off this car just in case. You never know. But yeah, so we're going to be taking off the caliper now, putting these to the side. These are actually pretty clean. I don't mind those. Again, be careful with this as well. And again, if you're going to be doing this while with the brake line on and you're going to be reusing this, zip tie it up somewhere safe. That way you're not stretching anything, but you should be able to wiggle it on out. Once that's done, I can get the carriers off. There we go. So there's our caliper, which actually is not in bad shape. It's pretty good. Be nice if there's powder coated. Maybe I'll resell them or something like that, but they're in pretty good shape. Brake pads, yeah, not bad. I like using brand new stuff, but keep those in there. I'm gonna keep these safe. I don't know if I need these little springy things. I'd never seen those before, but yeah, keep those nice and safe. And then for the carrier as well, we have our stuff here, and then we have our little rubber boots, which goes in there. So I'm just gonna be careful with those. I'm not sure if I can take these out. I assume I can. I just want to confirm with people that know fully what they're doing. That way I don't rip them out and they're useless. I have to get some new ones, but I assume they'll be okay. But anyway, so now you can see all the room I have here. Again, I'm gonna try and get these carrier bolts out. I have to find something that's gonna fit. The 8mm is tight, but there's a lot of rust in there, so I'm gonna try to get underneath, clean it right out. Nice guys, so we have the caliper off, and again we're gonna get these carrier bolts out. So these little pluggy guys here that are on the carrier for your caliper, they're really easy to get off. You just got to be very careful with them actually. So you can see how it goes back and forth here with the rubber boot. Hopefully you guys can hear me. It's getting really windy right now. Hopefully it doesn't rain. But yeah, if you guys just give these just a wee bit of a tug, there you go. You can kind of hear the pop sound. And again, make sure these are nice and clean. Keep them safe. I'm probably gonna have to re-lube these up with our high silicone, our high heat silicone lube there that we picked up for the front. Again, with the front ones, there you go. Make sure they're clean. But yeah, looks good. Again, so far, a little bit easier than the front. I don't want to jinx myself just yet, but yeah, be careful with these little shims here, yeah, these little shims here as well. You do not want to lose those. I'm sure they're fairly easy to get, but I definitely gonna have to get these powder coated because they look like crap and I don't like the look of them. So yeah, we'll work on getting these out. And then don't forget guys, our little Phillips screw here for our brake rotor. All right guys, so I for the life of me could not get these rear carriers off. Again, I think they're 8mm, or what else I have here kicking around. It was like a 5/16 or something like that. Allen bolt or Allen socket to get them off, but I just can't do it. I was starting to just strip the bottom one just a wee bit, so I really don't want to mess around with them too much. The only way I'm going to take them off now is if the rotors that I put on, which I think are roughly the same size as these, should fit. Hopefully that'll be the only way I'm going to take them off. I really want to get these powder coated, but at the same time I really just want to get this car on the ground, and I don't know, maybe in a later day or whatever like that I can get them off. But they are insanely tight on there right now, and if you guys remember, the front ones are torqued to 92 foot-pounds, so I'm not sure how I'm gonna do it. But anyways, I went ahead and started taking off the rotor. Again guys, you have your little Phillips screw, which is right here, So I took that off. If I can recommend you one thing, which I will write in the subtitles during the video, is take this guy off while you have your caliper on, because it just makes it a lot easier to take off with the screwdriver. Again, coming back to leverage, you have something to kind of keep resistance on this, because I was trying to use my screwdriver and it was just spinning the rotor because there's nothing there anymore. End up using impact. It did work, but I wouldn't run the risk of stripping this too much, just because that's a huge pain, and I'm very fortunate to have it on here still. So yeah, make sure you guys keep this safe. Don't forget about it. I'm just gonna put it on the side here and then take the rotor off. Pretty basic. There you go. Just gonna slide it off. And again, this is actually not in bad shape. It's just some surface rust on it. So I'm gonna put this to the side. I might resell it. I'm not sure yet. Make sure I brake clean it up. But yeah, there we go. You guys can see we have the spindle here again. Gonna clean this all up right here. That way everything's all nice and tidy. Brake line is still going. This one leaks for a while, eh? But yeah, what I'm gonna do then now is I'll probably work on getting the struts out on this side before I go over to the other side. And then I'm not sure, I might try over the week to see if I can get this carrier off with some more PB blaster, but for the meantime I'm just gonna kind of wait on this, so we'll see how it goes. So moving on, guys, to our strut removal here. So these are 16 millimeters, or you can use a 5/8. It does say 16, but 5/8 will work. And then you can see down here again, 5/8, 16 mil, same thing. We're going to be doing the lower strut mount, or strut bolt first. Should be pretty easy to do. Just gonna use the impact here, and then yeah, just be careful, guys, because it will eventually drop this kind of side here, so be careful with the spring. Now there should be no tension. Oh, it's windy. There should be no tension on the spring now, just because all the tension's off with our jacks, so it's just gravity taking over. But just be careful, guys. You want to make sure that these springs don't come flying out at you. And again, be careful with how you do this. You're going to want to reuse this upper string or spring isolator here, as well as the dust boot and the bump stop. So just be very careful as you guys go along here. That's out now, pretty basic. Might have to use a jack just a wee bit, but with that being there where it is right now, it's gonna hold the strut in here, but at least we know it's nice and loose. So we can go ahead and take the top ones off. Oh, those came out nice and easy. Again, keep everything to the side. I'm just gonna remove this next one here, and then I can slowly start to lower the rear kind of beam here to get the spring out. There we go, guys. Yes sir, baby, looking good. Just fixing my sunglasses again. So again, oh yeah, nice and easy. Just make sure we take this 16 millimeter bolt out, and then again, you're going to want to kind of fiddle with it with your hand, and you'll be able to get the bottom one out. And then yeah, that takes care of at least getting the struts out on this side, which is pretty sweet. So much easier than dealing with that pinch bolt on the front end of the car. That was a nightmare. But again, be careful here, guys, because you guys can see everything goes down here. So if you have an extra set of hands, that's great. If not, no worries, but just be very careful. And then yeah, once you push down on this beam, you guys can see the spring here should pop out nice and easy. So finally got the strut out all the way now. It's nice and loose, so I'm just going to kind of push down on this, grab the spring. It should fall out nice and easy. And then the good thing about putting coilovers in, guys, usually everything's a lot smaller, so you can go lower, so it should be a lot easier to put everything in. Again, save everything that comes off this. You're going to need it. I will say, guys, probably if you go on the other side too as well and just slightly loosen the top parts of the other strut too, on, in this case it'd be the driver's side, that would help you lower this beam down just a wee bit. Definitely doable, but just a little word of advice if you're going to do this all at the same time. Make sure you guys keep, this is your insulator for the top. That way you don't get any crazy squeaking and everything sits in there properly the way it was designed to do. Again, this is for like so many different cars, so good practice to follow for sure. And then, where'd you go? There's supposed to be like a little ring there. I'm gonna have to clean this all up. That way my new spring perch for the Swift springs that we're gonna be putting in, guys, is gonna sit nice and easy. So you can see, there you go. Like, look how rotted that thing is. That's junk. But I'll make sure to take some like sandpaper and stuff like that, vacuum, clean this all up, probably coat it in some lubricant. That way everything sits nice. But yeah, there we go. There's our passenger side all done. Again, I'm gonna try throughout the week, if I have time, I'm gonna go get some more PB blaster and see if I can really zing these guys off for sure. I might be able to, like, these are rounded, I might be able to fit a socket on there. If I just hammer one on, sacrifice a socket, boom, take her off, good to go. So we'll see how that goes. I would love to get these things powder coated, but we'll see if I have the time. But yeah, so there's the passenger side all done, guys. Looks really good. Again, finally stopped leaking here with the brakes, which is pretty awesome. So we're going to make our way over to the driver's side and yeah, start doing the exact same thing. I'm going to try to kind of go through that fairly quick with you guys, that way I'm not wasting too much of your time today. But you can see, as far as getting everything off suspension wise on the rear of the MK4 here, a lot easier than the front, that is for sure. And I'm very excited to put our new coilovers in to replace these ugly suckers right here. On the driver's side here, guys, so we already took off our little tiny little Phillips screw here, a little Phillips bolt or whatever. You can kind of see, it's so nice having that. You can see already like the difference, right? Exactly like the front. But yeah, so do that while you have the caliper on, just so much easier. That way you have a little more leverage, like I said. I actually went ahead and yeah, took off the upper strut mount already, just to make taking the springs off a lot easier. And you can see with the other side already down, like the spring's almost ready to come out as it is. So yeah, I'm gonna take off the handbrake first. That's gonna be the first thing I find is the easiest thing to get at. And then after that, again, we're gonna be taking off our caliper with the 13 and the 15 millimeters right here, and then as well as the brake line, let it drain out for a while, and then the bottom of the strut. So yeah, let's gonna try to speed demon this, because as you guys can see, if you can, yeah, it's getting a little gnarly out here, and I do not want to be out here right now in the rain. Brake line coming off. Again, guys, too, make sure you guys be careful with these washers. There's two washers, one there and one there, similar to the ones that we put on our Stop Tech line, so just be careful you don't lose them. Oh. You guys heard that? That was the spring. The spring fell out right into the brake fluid, but that's okay. There we go. Whew. Brake rotor is off. There you guys go. Whew. So now I just got to do yeah, this bottom strut right here, just the 5/8 or 16 mil again, guys. And yeah, that's everything done on the back. So like even this whole driver's side that I just shot for you guys here, there might be one or two small edits, but this just took me literally like 10 minutes to do. So yeah, it can be done. If I can do it, you guys sure can do it, no doubt about that. So yeah, other than that there, guys, yeah, I appreciate you guys watching another video. Again, we're gonna be installing the coilovers yeah, I'm gonna try to get these carriers off this week if I can, but the good thing is I don't need to wait to get these done. I can put the coilovers in, all that jazz, without even needing the brakes on, which is sweet. So stay tuned for that video too, guys. If you guys have any questions, again, the back is a lot easier than the front, that is definitely for sure. But yeah, don't be afraid to comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at MK4 Motorsports, and I'll do the best I can to help you guys out. So far, guys, I really appreciate all the support. We've had a couple people reach out, which is pretty cool. I'm just a regular guy here just outside Toronto, that I love working on cars, so hopefully this is good for you guys to watch. And yeah, I really do appreciate it. So take care, guys. As you guys can see, we have it all going on. We're almost there, guys, to at least getting this thing on the ground. So yeah, ciao, guys.